Dear students, today we'll be looking into the chapter Vocabulary and Grammar for Academic Writing. It's from A03 and we already know what is academic writing. Academic writing is any kind of writing done at the college level or higher level studies, and it has certain pattern and rules that has to be followed while we write anything academic. And for this we have to constantly practice, observe certain points, and develop it as a skill. Now, going into the details. When we consider academic writing, two major things we have to remember or take care is about vocabulary and grammar. Vocabulary means the words, the kind of words we use. The words we use should be really formal and not the casual words that we use in a conversation. And also it's the same with the grammar part. Now, how do we take care of the vocabulary? It's better to use words in the academic word list. We have a number of words in the academic word list, and this is available in association with many of the dictionaries, and we should make ourselves comfortable with using these kind of academic words available in the list. Now the next thing we should take care while writing something academic is that you should revise it continuously. Keep on editing. You cannot give your first draft. You should write it again, correct it, correct the vocabulary, correct the grammar, correct the wordings, correct the style, and write it again and again and edit and revise it. Revision becomes a major part of academic writing thus. Stepping into the next point, we shall now consider how to make our writing more effective, academic writing more effective. In this, the first point we have already mentioned, that is vocabulary. We should take care of our vocabulary and don't use colloquial style or slang expressions. We can consider this in example with Malayalam. When we speak our language or speak our mother tongue, for example Malayalam, we speak in a very different way at different places, but we write in a uniformed way, in a stylized way. This should be there inside our mind. That is the first thing. Then our sentences shouldn't be monotonous. Same pattern sentences shouldn't be used. Different type of sentences, different lengths, different words should be used. Then the next thing, avoid wordiness. We shall get into the details of this later. Next one is avoid parallelism. We shall get into the details later. Now we should use tenses correctly and we shouldn't use any weak phrases. These are the points we should remember. As we were talking about vocabulary, one thing that should be inside our mind is that using good vocabulary doesn't mean using tough words or no words that can't be understood by common people. It only does mean that you should use precise, that is very accurate and clear words. It has nothing to do with being tough. It has only to do with clarity and with precision. For this we need immense amount of skill that shall be developed through practice. We should keep on writing and editing and displacing the words and again taking another words and not using informal words and expressions. And the next thing we have to take care is that while writing long ideas, long paragraphs and long ideas are communicated, that is we discourse something, we tell an idea through a paragraph or a story or a few sentences, we should correctly split, give a continuity to the sentence. Like when we say, I was hoping to do things better, but I couldn't. Anyway, I can do things better in the future. I hope you listen to what I said. In this, I use the word anyway. Anyway is a discourse marker. That means it brings in a connection between the sentences. Anyway, okay, etc. are discourse markers. I'll repeat the same when we discuss about this thing. So that comes when we have to consider about vocabulary in detail. So in the earlier slide, we mentioned about discourse markers, use of discourse markers to improve our vocabulary. Before going into discourse markers, we should first consider the term discourse. Discourse means I already have mentioned it, is a unit of language longer than a sentence. It conveys an idea, a theme, but not in a sentence, more than a sentence, maybe two sentences, maybe a paragraph, maybe few pages, or maybe even a book. In such case, in between the sentences, we'll have to use certain markers like right, okay, etc. Anyway, I told an example earlier. These kind of words should be used. They act as connectors or linking words and help us to communicate the idea in a better way. Like when we say a few examples, like for fruits like apple, orange, mango, we cannot stop there. We should use etc. Etc. as a discourse marker. I hope you understood. But one thing you have to remember while using discourse markers is that there are both formal and informal discourse markers. We cannot use informal conversational style discourse markers. For example, let me see, actually, I think, obviously, you know, etc. are discourse markers that comes up in a conversation. We can't use those things in academic writing, but in academic writing we can use, as earlier mentioned, as a result, however, in other words, therefore, etc. to begin with. These all kind of things are discourse markers that can be used in academic writing. Now, what is the idea behind using discourse markers in academic writing? Why should we use it? To bring in clarity, that we have already told, to bring a balance in writing, to present a new idea, maybe an argument. We sometimes will have to add something, or we have to summarize something. In these situations, we use discourse markers. Now we have talked about vocabulary we should use, what should we take care while using vocabulary, that we should use formal words than informal words, we should be precise, clear. Then we talked about discourse markers. Now the next thing we should take care while using or when we engage with academic writing is that our sentences should be complete. We should adhere to the simple formula of making our sentences complete, not alone with a full stop, but the idea should be complete. We should have independent clauses. We shouldn't have any kind of dependent clauses in our writing. Coming to the next point, we have to remember while writing something academic is that you should diversify your sentences. What do you mean by diversifying your sentences? It means using different types of sentences while writing. You cannot use a simple pattern or single pattern through the entire process or the essay or the research paper. Can't use simple sentence alone. You cannot use compound sentences alone. We should use mixed patterns of sentences. That is, you may use simple sentence, you may use compound sentence, you may use complex sentence, you may use compound complex sentences. You have already learned about this, so I'm not going into the details of every descriptions, although you have the detailing of every sentence type in the slide. Now, considering the grammar part, something you have to consider is that there should be an agreement between subject and verb. Subject-verb agreement should be very clear in academic or any kind of writing. In academic writing in particular, there should be no grammar error. You should be very, very precise or clear about this. That is, what do you mean by subject-verb agreement? That is, singular subject should have a singular verb. That is, if I say I shouldn't go with are. I should go with am, right? I am single. That is right. I are single is wrong. In the same way, plural subject should have a plural verb. For example, what do you say? We are. We don't say we are. I hope it's clear. Now, the next thing we have to consider is parallelism. Parallelism is something, a component or something we have to consider within a sentence. The components within a sentence, not outside the sentence or the link between the sentence or link between the idea. That is an idea that comes within the sentence. There should be a parallelism between the elements present within a sentence. ഒരു സെൻറ്റൻസിനുള്ളിലുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ തമ്മിൽ എന്താണ്? There should be a sync. I hope it's clear. For example, when I explain the example, it will become clear. She sang, ate, slept, or she sang, ate, and slept. All the three words sang, ate, and slept are in the past tense. We can say she was singing, ate, and sleep. That is wrong. There is grammatical error and there is also lack of parallelism. In parallelism, we use the same pattern within the same sentence. Academic writing, as I earlier mentioned, has nothing to do with wordiness or using a number of words or tough words or technical words. Technical words should be used in the absence. To make it complicated, we shouldn't use any tough words. We should make it very simple. Like Shakespeare say, brevity is the soul of writing. Okay, it creates a better idea or better dimensions to the writing we do. For example, I can say either I am aware of that. ഇതിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം എന്താണ്? എനിക്കതറിയാം. ഐ എം അവെയർ ഓഫ് ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് വേർഡി. അതേസമയം അതേ അർത്ഥം വരുന്ന സംഗതിയാണ് ഐ നോ. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ഇനഫ്. So these are all the things we should consider while writing something academic related to the part of grammar and vocabulary. We should remember about the precision, clarity, the amount of words we should use, the type of words we should use, and to avoid wordiness, then discourse markers, the tense, the parallelism effect, or subject-verb agreement. All these should be remembered while writing something academic. I hope this was clear. Thank you.